Hi, good evening, and welcome to PJs with PJ, Pajama Talks with Pastor Jeannie. I am Pastor Jeannie Sortland, and I serve the United Methodist congregations of Wimbledon and Kensal, North Dakota. And I am so glad you are joining me tonight. And tonight I kind of expand out some more from where we were headed yesterday in episode 60, where we talked about reading between the lines and if we were making it fact or story when we had a situation that we were evaluating. And tonight I want to talk about keeping your cool, because I'm not sure about you all, but there have been times in this pandemic that I was not terribly full of grace and patience. And there were times that I lost my cool. But then I did employ some strategies that helped me probably not lose my cool quite so often. And the other thing that we talked about yesterday was about choosing to be offended. And that theme comes up again today, that we do have a choice if we are going to be offended or not. So anyway, what is going on in your life that is increasing the stress level? Do you feel yourself getting tense more often? Do you feel anger more often? For me, when my mental health is optimal, I don't get mad all that much. However, when things are not so good up here, for me, it manifests in anger. And so that is a key in our family, that if I'm getting angry more often, I probably need to make sure I make a date with my therapist. I maybe need to be more diligent about taking my meds on schedule, maybe eating better. Maybe I have dropped my fish oil regimen and I need to add that back in. Maybe I need more light. Light is critical for me. For my husband, his anger tends to come out with farm stress, financial stress, and there's been some of that. And we both find we get incredibly irritated when our kids just sit around watching us work. And when we do have them do some things, that they whine like mules. And so that can get us pretty feisty. And that, maybe, and that's probably pretty warranted. That's actually, I think sometimes our kids do need to see us a little fired up and passionate. But there's almost kind of a difference between a healthy anger and an unhealthy anger. I mean, anger itself is never good. But I think we can utilize that sometimes in more beneficial ways than others. And when I am sensing a lot of anger and acting out on that, typically I'm not in a healthy space and I'm not exhibiting anything good other than mom's not in a good place. So anyway, I thought we'd bring some scripture into this discussion tonight. And one of those places is in the book of Psalms. So one of the poetry books, chapter 4, and it's supposed to be Psalms. Sorry, I have to retrain myself. I have these bad habits. Like I was saying Palms for Palm Sunday, but it's Palm Sunday. And Psalms. And hopefully I'm not too old of a dog to be retrained. But anyway, 4:4 in Psalms. When you are disturbed, do not sin. Another word for disturbed is angry or mad. Ponder it on your beds and be silent. Now, I know there's a scripture verse, and I think it's in the New Testament. No, maybe it's Old Testament. Do not let the sun go down on your anger. Now, in our house, that has proven not to be good strategy. If I am keyed up, worked up, and madder than mad, I should go to bed and get some sleep. Because quite often in the morning, whatever was bugging me is not nearly as bad. And so I think this is good advice. Okay, when you're angry, don't act out on it right now. Go lay down for a while. Ponder it and be silent, allowing God to speak into the situation. And then in the book of James, chapter 1, verses 19 through 20, you must understand this, my beloved. Let everyone be quick to listen, slow to speak, slow to anger. Okay, didn't we talk about that yesterday? Quick to listen. Try to investigate the situation before you come to conclusions. And this is similar to the Psalm verse, slow yourself down. And verse 20, for your anger does not produce God's righteousness. How many of us feel like we have acted in God's grace when we are in a moment of anger? I mean, let me know if you feel like you were exhibiting God's grace in a moment of anger, because I want to hear your story, because I'm not sure it's possible. And then more wisdom literature. We're going back to Proverbs chapter 19, verse 11. Those with good sense are slow to anger, and it is their glory to overlook an offense. Okay, so sometimes when we ignore some of the stuff that other people are doing that make us angry, God's happy about that. And so the term I've adopted over the years is like water off a duck's back. There are some people that intentionally try to dig at me to get me mad. And it infuriates them when I do not react, when I choose not to be offended. And sometimes they go deeper and deeper. But now, after years of this practice of like water off a duck's back, they don't do it anymore. Or rarely. So yeah, I think that is part of growing in wisdom and growing in God's graces, that we don't attend every fight we're invited to. So anyway, those are some of the thoughts. I hope that you are not feeling anger. I hope that all of you would be exhibiting the greatest mental health you could. Unfortunately, these times have been pretty tough, and I think if we're honest with ourselves, a lot of our mental health has not been particularly good. There is help out there. In fact, North Dakota is offering some free services now. So I think if you get on the North Dakota Department of Health page, you could probably access free counseling services anonymously. I don't think they ask for your name or anything. They just want you to call and talk things out. And your mental health is as important, if not more important, than your physical health. Because your body will not work right if your mental health is not good. And we would not hesitate going to the doctor for a broken leg. And so I ask that you would not hesitate going to the doctor if things seem dark in your world, if you seem like you're in a fog, if you're just not yourself. My prayer is that you would find help and you would find hope, and as always, that you would be in good health. Thanks for joining me tonight. I just love that a lot of you are here with me during this time. Bye-bye.